Hey y'all, what's up? So it is Antoinette, aka Sadiddy Cream, and I am back here with another quick video on YouTube. So today we're going to be breaking down the Truth in Lending Act requirements. We're going to go in going to detail of a few of the requirements that are required under the Truth in Lending Act. Um, excuse me. So you guys, when you're bringing your billing error resolution disputes under the Truth in Lending Act, you will need to know what are the creditors requirements, right? So we're going to be getting into that today on this very short and sweet video. Well, I'm going to try to make it as short as possible, which is why I won't be going into many requirements, but a few pertinent requirements, right? So let's get into it. And before I get into it, go ahead and like and subscribe to this video. Like and subscribe and comment below and let me know if I should keep dropping these videos. On YouTube, I know I have been a little MIA, and that's only because I am building out my courses in order to be able to effectively and efficiently teach you all in a platform versus me just doing Zoom classes. So I'm currently working on that. It is a lot of work. So if you all just be patient with me, I would greatly appreciate that. But again, let's get into it. As a disclaimer, so disclaimers are important as a consumer advocate. You guys like to come for me. So I'm not an attorney. I do not offer legal advice. I cannot be held responsible for your misrepresentation or misuse of these educational materials, right? The information provided in this video is for educational purposes only. I am not implying that you should take action based on the information provided in this video. So, as a quick reminder and a quick disclaimer, I'm not an attorney. You all know that I'm not an attorney. I'm not offering any legal advice, which I have never offered you out any legal advice, and I'm not telling you or implying that you should take action based on the information I provide on this video or anything on my YouTube. So I'm not implying that you all take action. I'm not, forcing you all to take action. I'm providing you with my personal experiences and put it or compile it together in the educational video. All right. All right. So the Truth in Lending Act requirements on a creditor are defined under 15 USC 1602G. And let me see if I can get that up. This little thing is in my way. I guess I'm gonna have to keep doing that. So this is 15 USC 1602G. And then, like I said, the requirements for creditor are in the definition here, right? So you need to be or want to be familiar with the Truth in Lending Act when it comes to you executing billing errors, because you are bringing your claims under the Truth in Lending Act. So I apologize for that in advance, but I'm not sick. Um, so get into it, open-end credit versus closed-ended credit, right? So open-end credit is revolving credit like credit cards and charge cards. Closed-end credits are accounts such as installment loans, like personal loans, auto loans, payday loans, etc. So those are your closed-end credit accounts. So you may be wondering, okay, so the Cream, what's the difference between the open-end credit and the closed-end credit, right? So the main difference between the two is that with open end credit, like credit cards, charge cards, you can use those multiple times a month and you will be charged based on its use per month. So if you look at a credit card, you will see that you charge your credit card every month and you're charged based on whatever you use per month. With closed end credit or installment loans, personal loans, payday loans, etc., you will have a fixed or variable monthly payment that's pre-planned. So you'll already know what your pre-planned payment is for those type of accounts, and that's the main difference pretty much between the two. So um, with the Truth in Lending Act, pretty much the creditors that are defined under 15 USC, they're typically your financing institutions such as banks, credit unions, and sometimes servicers of loans. So those are the creditors that, or how creditors are defined under 15 USC 1602G. that I just showed you, they're typically, like I said, your financial institution like banks, credit unions, and sometimes, like I said, servicers of loans. So these creditors, they have requirements under the Truth in Lending Act. So you all want to be made aware of what their requirements is for your own rights as consumers. So you have the right to full disclosures under the Truth in Lending Act. You have to be fully informed on your use of credit, which is why the Truth in Lending Act is in place, right? So, some people will argue that you all shouldn't, I don't know, this is like bothering me. You all shouldn't learn from YouTube, or you shouldn't take educational material from YouTube. To each his own. You get what I'm saying? This consumer law or consumer advocate world, as I'm seeing, is very catty. It's very dramified, and I don't want any parts, but I'm going to continue my videos and going to continue to do what I do. But I said that to say, always do your own due diligence. Always, I'm providing you all with the laws where, I'm showing you where in the law that this information exists, breaking it down to you in an easy way for you to understand. And I still don't suggest that, like I said, you take, my word for, what it is. Take the law for what it says, pretty much. And that's how I've always done my teaching. So, however anyone else interprets, it is not my business. But anyway, going back to the creditors in their requirements. So, the creditors have the requirement to provide you with disclosure. So, they'll sometimes fail these requirements, but you have to know if they fail the requirement, what you should do. And I spoke about that in my billing error boot camp, where I did break it down to you all. And but today I'm going to go into it just a tad bit more, right? So with the finance charge, right? So the truth in lending disclosure statements is permitted by law. With the finance charge, the creditor has to, or is required to, provide insurance, right? So the premium to be included in the finance charge is the cost of a policy of insurance of the type, amount, and term required by the creditor. So that information is required to be included, right? So we all know that they normally don't include it in the finance charge. Also, when it comes to debt cancellation and debt suspension, disclosures are required to be disclosed. If the insurance is optional, right, the disclosure must also be given. So if it's optional for you to have insurance or not to have insurance, the creditor, whomever you're going to lend you the credit, the closing credit, they're required to provide you with disclosures that says that the insurance is optional. If they fail that requirement of not providing you with that disclosure, then you have a claim, and you can bring that claim under the Truth in Lending Act. Like I said in boot camp, that's pretty much the whole basis of the billing error dispute is seeing what the requirements is, what your requirements are. If they fail those requirements, what is your civil liability if they fail those requirements? But they have requirements, and if they fail them, you have a claim. You just have to know how to bring your claim under the Truth in Lending Act, right? Um, I have this pulled up. Let me see. 1026. I have a lot of them pulled up, so give me a second here of what I'm going to be covering today. 1026. Okay, finance chart. So 1026.14, y'all know that the CFRs are the concrete law. So this is under Reg Z. So the finance charge is the cost of the consumer credit as a dollar amount. It includes any charge payable directly or indirectly by the consumer and imposed directly or indirectly by the creditor as an incident to or a condition of the extension of credit. So it does not include any charge of a type payable in comparable cash transaction. They're pretty much telling you here that the finance charge is everything that should be imposed directly or indirectly by the consumer, and it's not to be a cash transaction. But when it comes to finance charges, just know they're not supposed to be including any cash transactions. So, again, I have that one pulled up. Yeah, the Truth in Lending Act disclosure form. I have I have it pulled up here. If you ever went to get a auto loan. I have. Okay, yeah. If you ever went to get an auto loan, this is the H1 credit sale model form, right? So you may be familiar with this form if you ever want to get a auto loan. This is the form that they are required to provide to you, and it has to be in this form. And in that finance charge is supposed to be the sum of all of the charges in the finance charge. So you will definitely find some violations in this H1 credit sale model form, but this is what it looked like for any of you who don't know what the H1 credit sale model form looks like, right? Going back to our slide and getting into the general disclosures requirements, right? So 12 CFR 1026.15 is the general disclosure requirement. So the creditor shall be furnishing you, the consumer, with account opening disclosures, right? That's before the transaction is made under the closed-ended consumer credit plan. So if the account has been closed and then reopened, then new account open disclosures are required. So they can't close your account, reopening your account without providing you with those disclosures because that's a requirement that they are required to provide, right? Let's see. I have it up, but I don't want to keep clicking through 126. And I'm eventually going to get into all of this information in a minute. So that's 1026.5. Here we go. So general disclosure requirements. So pursuant to 12 CFR 1026.15, the creditor, which is whomever you get the open end or close end credit transaction from, they shall make the disclosure requirements clearly and conspicuously. Yep, you all know what that means. They have to clearly and conspicuously provide you the disclosures under 1026.15. So they're required to provide you in writing and in the form that the consumer may keep. So you have to be able to keep the form that they provide you the disclosures in. They have to be they don't have to be written, but under 1026.16 B3 of charges that are imposed as part of an open end, not home secured plan, that are not required to be disclosed, and related of charges, disclosures under 1026.19, disclosure under 1026.9 when a finance charge is imposed at the time of transaction. So this is pretty much telling you how they are supposed to be or how they're required to provide you with those disclosures. They don't have to be written, and this is these disclosures that are required and what disclosures are not required. So you can't bring a claim under Truth in Lending Act and stating that you were required to disclose 1026.16 if 12 CFR 1026.6 is telling you that it's not required. So you also have a due diligence as well to know what's not required. For which a finance charge has been imposed. So the credit card company is also supposed to, I'm sorry, always supposed to deliver or mail you a periodic statement if your account has a credit or debit balance of more than $1, or when they charge you a finance charge. So they are required to provide you with that periodic statement, and it has to be in a certain model form. Let me see if I have that form up. I keep going to this recession form. Was it that one? Hold on, let me make sure that that was the one. Oh, I don't have it up. Or did I scroll past it? Let me see. Okay, yeah, it was this one. Okay, so it was this one. So they're provided, sorry, required to provide you with ah, the account opening disclosures in this form. So it has to be in, I'm sorry, y'all. It has to be in this form, right? So if it's not in this form, then they are in violation. So when they are opening your accounts, they have to go through and list your percentage rates, your purchase rates. All of this information has to be disclosed to you in this form. If it is not disclosed in this form, again, they have filled a requirement that is required by the Truth in Lending Act, excuse me, and then you have a claim. So under the periodic statement of transactions, interest, charges, fees, this is a sample right here of how your periodic billing statement is supposed to be provided to you. This is what I was looking for right here. So when it comes to them providing you that periodic billing statement at the end of whenever you use your credit card, that statement is supposed to be mailed to you in this form. So they have a requirement to send you those or that periodic statement whenever your bill is in the excess of $1 or anytime that you got a finance charge, and they have to or are supposed to send it to you in this periodic statement form. They're supposed to show you your transactions, your interest charges, all of this information, transaction posted date, but they are required by law to show you these interest charges and the transactions that were on your statement. So it has to be in this form. If it's not in this form, you can pull it up and say, "Hey, this is your requirement by law. It's supposed to be in this form. You provided it to me in XYZ form. So you filled the requirement to provide my periodic statement in this form. So since you failed to comply it, you're now civilly liable to me for XYZ amount." And again, that's the whole idea of the billing error resolution dispute. So um, let me see what else I wanted to get into with you all. The account opening disclosures, and you all see me pull that up on this screen. I have the, maybe I can, yeah, I no longer need that one. Okay, so here it is, 1026.6, CFR 12, sorry, 12 CFR 1026.6, account opening disclosures, right? So with the account opening disclosures, it says that, where is it? Us For the account opening disclosures, a statement of when finance charges begin to accrue, including an explanation of whether or not any time period exists within which in sorry, let me slow down. A statement of when finance charges begin to accrue, right? Included including an explanation of whether or not any time period exists within which any credit extended may be repaid without incurring a finance charge. So if such a time period is provided, a creditor may, at its option and without disclosure, impose no finance charge when payment is received after the time period's expiration. So when the creditor is providing you with the account opening disclosures, they're required to provide you a statement of when the finance charges will begin to accrue, right? And it also says here that they are not required to disclose, what was it? They are not required to without disclosure, they are not required to disclose if they're going to impose no finance charge. So if they're not going to charge you a finance charge, they're not required to disclose that to you, right? So again, you have to know what they're required to do and then also what they're not required to do. So any account opening disclosures, significant charges related to the plan must also be disclosed, such as any late payments and over the credit limit charges, fees for providing documentary evidence, any tax imposed on the credit transaction, and charges imposed in connection with any residential mortgage transactions, right? So these are the account opening disclosures pursuant, well, by the CFPB, right? This is what I have up right here for the CFPB. So creditors must also provide the account opening disclosures in a tabular format with headings and content. So let me see. I know I had that one up here. Oh, it was the one I pulled up earlier. I closed it now, but those were the, oh, here it is. Right. So these are the tabular formats that they are supposed to provide you your disclosures in. If they are not in this format and the law is telling them that it has to be in this tabular format, then they are failing the requirement. So it's saying that the creditors have to provide all of the account open disclosures in these tubular formats with these headings. So these headings here, interest rate and charges, these are the headings. These are the tubular forms. These are considered tubular forms. So it has to be in this form. All of this information has to be clearly and conspicuous that way, that and they also have to provide it to you. If any one of those requirements are failed, then you have a claim, right? Um, if you're required to purchase any type of credit life insurance or assign any type of existing life insurance policy, the premium must also be included in any type of finance charges as well. That was just a note I had here off to the side for myself. So all of that information has to be provided to you or also included in the finance charge, right? So let's move on to billing error, right? With the billing error resolution. This is what you all have been seeing me speak or talk about over my YouTube channel. And again, this information is for educational purposes only. You all will try to crucify me and hold me to the cross, but it's all good. When it comes to the billing error resolution, again, you are staying under the Truth in Lending Act, or really um you're stating a claim under the Truth in Lending Act that the creditor, which is bank, financial bank, whoever extends you the credit, right? So they have a requirement to provide you or to resolve a billing error. If they don't resolve your billing error and provide you the required documentary evidence, if they fail that requirement to provide you that documentary evidence, that's when you have a claim. You're able to state your claim and then to claim your damages. That's the whole idea of the billing error resolution, right? So with the billing error resolution, I don't know why I have that one up. With the billing error resolution, right? Um, a reflection. Oh wait. Oh, no, that's the definition. So with the billing error resolution, a creditor shall be mailing you or delivering you written acknowledgement within 30 days of them receiving a billing error notice from you, unless that creditor has complied with the appropriate resolution procedures within the 30-day period. So unless they're resolving your billing error resolution in 30 days, they should be sending you written acknowledgement within 30 days of receiving the billing error notice. So if they're not sending you a written acknowledgement in 30 days, or if they haven't resolved it in 30 days, either of the two, then they are in direct violation of 1026.13 billing error resolution. That's after you have completed your billing error. I don't want to say packet because y'all be on my head, but that's after you've submitted over your billing error resolution dispute to them. And if they haven't provided you with any type of written acknowledgement, or they haven't resolved that billing error by providing you with that documentary evidence in those 30 days, they are in violation, right? So the creditor shall be complying with the appropriate billing error resolution procedures as applicable within two billing cycles, but in no event should it be in no event should it be later than 90 days. So after receiving a billing error by the consumer, which is you, they should be within two billing cycles. They should be complying with the appropriate procedures to resolve that billing error, right? So if the procedures if the if the billing error procedures are asserted, the creditor is going to determine that the billing error has occurred, and the creditor, they have to either correct the billing error and credit your account, or they have to mail or deliver a correction notice to you. That's what I was just speaking about earlier. So they are doing one of two things when you are letting them know that a billing error has occurred, and you are sending them a billing error resolution dispute. They either one, correct that billing error and credit your account with anything excess in a dollar. We went over that in boot camp. Or they should be mailing or delivering a correction notice to you, right? So the creditor or its agents, they shall not directly or indirectly make or threaten or take any adverse action to any person about the consumer's credit standing or report or the amount of the account that's delinquent because the consumer failed to pay the disputed amount or related finance charges. So um they're not supposed to be taking adverse action against you all, right? Um Let me see if, This is the time for resolution that I was just going over. Okay, here it is. So when it comes to the billing error resolution dispute and them the creditor taking adverse action against you. So you, the consumer, have a right to withhold any disputed amount. So meaning you have the right to not pay. And collection action is prohibited. But I have stated on my channel that I personally recommend that you still act in good faith with good hands. Yes, the law does say that you have the right to withhold disputed amount and that the collection action is prohibited, right? But we know that with these creditors, they don't know that we are privy or that we are knowledgeable of this information. So, if you were to go in front of a judge and you haven't paid, or even though they're not supposed to be collecting any disputed amount, you still want to make it to the judge that, hey, I've been still paying, even though I have the right to withhold the amount, I've still been acting in good faith with clean hands. I've still been paying, but they haven't resolved my billing error. It just looks better that way, which is why I recommend it on my channel that you all continue to pay. So however you choose to do it, again, this information isn't set in stone. No one answer is the right answer. And by all means, you all are more than welcome to do what you are knowledgeable in doing. So don't try to come over here on my channel with all of that, because you will be blocked from commenting on my channel. You're just gonna have to go make another fake channel, and I'm gonna keep blocking you. So I'm not saying that y'all information is wrong. It's just that the way that y'all be speaking. But anyway, so you, the consumer, need not pay, and the creditor may not try to collect any portion of the required payment that the consumer believes is related to the disputed amount, including any related finance or other charges. So if the cardholder has enrolled in any type of automated payment plan offered by the card issuer and has agreed to pay the credit indebtedness by periodic deduction, so monthly payments from the cardholder's deposit account, the card issuer shall not deduct any part of the disputed amount or related finance charge or other charges if a billing error notice is received anytime up to 3 business days before the scheduled payment date. So if you let them know before the 3 business days before the scheduled payment date that you have a billing error dispute, they're not supposed to try to collect on you, and they're not supposed to restrict your account. So here, that is right here. Adverse credit reports prohibited. So the creditor or its agent shall not directly or indirectly, this is what I just went over, make or threaten to make an adverse report to any person about the consumer's credit standing, or report that an amount or account is delinquent because the consumer failed to pay the disputed amount or related finance or other charges. So the creditor is not supposed to they're not supposed to report to the credit bureaus that you are delinquent because you failed to pay, because you had a dispute about your billing, so you wanted to have a billing error resolved. So because you want to have a billing error resolved does not give them the right to go ahead and make any adverse reporting to you to the credit bureaus, is essentially what that is saying to you, right? So a creditor also shall not accelerate any part of the consumer's indebtedness or restrict or close the consumer's account solely because the consumer has exercised in good faith provided by this section. So a creditor may be subject to forfeiture penalty under 15 USC 1566E. I went over this in boot camp. For failure to comply with any requirements of this section. So these are the requirements of the section. They are required by law to not accelerate any part of the consumer's indebtedness or restrict or close your account solely because you have exercised in good faith your rights provided by this section. So when you all are asking me in the comments, hey, I sent my billing error dispute and XYZ company closed my account. So pursuant to 15 US, not 15 USC, pursuant to 1026.13D, D13, so the acceleration of debt and restriction of accounts is prohibited. So they had a requirement to not restrict or prohibit your account, and they failed that requirement by restricting and prohibiting your account. So now you have your next step is for you to either and anybody else who's out there watching, yes, I said, and I'm going to say it again, they have one or two obligations, which is to arbitrate or litigate. So you're going to either, if their contract allows for you to take them to arbitration, you're going to arbitrate them, or if the contract doesn't say doesn't allow for arbitration, you're going to litigate them either in small claims court or in district court. Yes, I said it because I learned it. So that is what your next option is going to be. It's not going to be to write them again and send them another billing error. It's not going to be trying to find any other laws to substantiate your claim. No, you've already made your claim. Your claim was, I had a billing error. I had a billing error dispute. I wanted it resolved. You had a requirement within 30 days to either, what did we say earlier, correct the billing error and credit my account, or to mail me or deliver me a correction notice to me, and you failed that requirement because you then went ahead and restricted and closed my accounts, which is also prohibited by 1026.13D13. Right. So they had those requirements. They failed all of those requirements. So what does it say now? A creditor may be subject to forfeiture penalty under 15 USC 1666E for failing to comply. So they failed to comply with a few requirements of the section. So now they're liable to you. That's it. Don't overthink it. Now they're liable to you. So correction of billing error. Now they're liable to you. I'm trying to see if it's, yeah, here you go. Oh, no, it's the billing error. Hold on. Here it goes. Restricting or closing by creditor of account regarded by obligor to contain a billing error. So they're talking about operating an open end consumer credit plan may not, prior to sending the written explanation or clarification required under paragraph BI, restrict or close an account with respect to which the obligor has indicated pursuant to subsection A that he believes such amount, not amount, such account to contain a billing error solely because of the obligor's failure to pay the amount indicated to be in error. Nothing in this subsection shall be deemed to prohibit a creditor from applying against the credit limit in the obligor's account and the amount indicated to be in the billing error. So that's two laws right there telling them that they should not be restricting or closing your account, right? Non-compliance. So if a creditor fails, or a creditor who fails to comply with the requirements of this section or sections 1666A of this title, forfeits any right to collect from the obligor the amount indicated by the obligor under paragraph 2 of this subsection. End of this subsection, any finance charges thereon, except that the amount required to be forfeited under this subsection may not exceed $50, right? So if they don't comply with the requirements, then they forfeit their right to even collect anything from you in the first place. So yeah, when it comes to you resolving your billing error, your requirements are going to be key when you are executing your billing error dispute process, right? Um, Let me see if I have to smoke. Now, when they're conducting their investigation of the billing error notice, right, they're going to be alleging that information appearing on the periodic statement is incorrect because a person honoring the consumer's credit card or otherwise accepting an access device for an open end plan has made an incorrect report to the creditor, right? So the creditor, they cannot deny the assertion unless it conducts a reasonable investigation and determines that the information was correct. Let me see if I can pull it up. I don't think I have this one up. Oh, yes, I do. Okay, so here it is, the long form billing error rights model form. So this is This is the form that the billing error, if you're raising your billing error disputes, this is normally the form that they want you to be sending the billing error disputes in. So if you think your bill is wrong and you need more information about your transaction, write us. They should be providing you with the billing error resolution address. Um, and then you're supposed to be hearing from them no less than 60 days, but the law is giving them 30 days to acknowledge you or to correct it, and that's by law, right? So when you are letting them know that information on their periodic statement, how they're supposed to provide it in tubular form is incorrect, because any person that should be honoring your consumer credit card or otherwise accepting any type of access for an open-ended plan has made any type of incorrect report, the creditor shall be, not deny or insert anything unless they have a investigation. So you're going to use your billing error rights model form to let them know that you have a dispute, and all this information should be provided in your dispute. Your name, account number, the dollar amount, um, the dollar amount of the suspected error. You need to describe and explain, if you can, why you believe there is an error, and I just gave you why. If you need more information, describe the item that you're not sure about, or if you have authorized them to pay your credit card bill automatically from your savings account, you can stop the payment. That you think is wrong, or they should automatically, like we just read, should not be trying to collect any type of automated payments to begin with, right? So that's pretty much in a nutshell the few disclosures or requirements that I wanted to cover today with you under the Truth in Lending Act. Again, I'm in the process of building out the next classes and courses in a platform that's going to be easy for me to be able to service you all. In the meantime, you're encouraged to go ahead and text the word waitlist to 407-305-7089. So text the word waitlist to 407-305-7089. This will put you in the queue on our waiting list to be notified of when classes are going to begin. Right now, I don't have an expected date, but it is coming. I may or may not, before my course is released, have another boot camp. But if you are wanting me to have another boot camp, let me know below in the comment section if we should have another boot camp specifically on executing the billing error dispute process. If not, then I'll move forward and we'll be waiting on the full course. But I want to thank you all for your continued love and support, for you engaging on these videos. Be sure to share the information out. And until the next video, I'll see you all later.